I am the CEO of Snot. I am. But guess what? Snot is a fact of life. Those online forums will either amplify your brand and put it up there on a pedestal, or they will crucify you. The first tap of the rock is not going to bust the rock open. It's the 100th tap of the rock that's going to bust it open.
Welcome to Add to Cart, Australia's leading e-commerce podcast that express delivers all you need to know in the fast-moving world of online retail. Here's your host, Bushy.
Welcome to another episode of Add to Cart. I'm Bushy and I'm joining you from the land of the Turrbal people, otherwise known as Brisbane, Australia. On Add to Cart, we welcome everyone to share and listen to e-commerce stories. The more diverse, the better. I want to especially welcome the traditional owners and the original storytellers of the land that we are on, our Indigenous and Torres Strait Islander listeners, to join us in our e-commerce conversations and our community. Now, speaking of community, we are excited to have the Add to Cart campus open for access. What's the Add to Cart campus, I hear you say? Put simply, it's a learning community for e-commerce professionals. And it feels like it's what we've been building at Add to Cart for many years. Free to join, campus has lunch and learn webinars, the latest e-commerce resources, a job board, and a heap of ways to learn with industry professionals and your peers. Whether you're an e-commerce manager, a founder, or simply finding your path to a career in e-commerce, we'd love to see you in there. Register to join campus at addtocart.com.au/campus. There's an old expression, where there's muck, there's brass. I actually hadn't heard it before, but I was told to say that. But in other words, follow the snot and poop trail to riches, if you want another way of saying it. It's pretty self-explanatory. It basically means that wherever things get messy, there's money to be made. Well, my guest today knows this only too well. Laura Klein is the founder and the CEO of Snotty Noses. Snotty Noses is a brand that pretty much does what it says on the tin, provides a practical solution for dealing with the bucket loads of snot that the babies and toddlers in our lives seem to generate from the moment they come into our lives. I think I mentioned it in this episode, but I got a bit of PTSD from some of the situations Laura talks about here. If you are not a parent or have had no experience with this phenomenon, you might want to look at Snotty Noses' TikTok channel to get up to speed. Just don't do it over breakfast. The Snotty Boss, Laura's hero product, is a motorized nasal aspirator that niftily sucks the snot from your child's nose at the touch of a button. Laura's journey has taken her from fulfilling orders at her kitchen bench to being stocked in retailers such as Terry White and Baby Bunting. Today, Laura shares how she made the tricky move from selling someone's product to manufacturing her own. She gives her tips for successful affiliate marketing and tells us what she learned from her recent warehouse upgrade. Now, Laura has also given our listeners a special discount on the products she has at Snotty Noses, so don't go away if you're in need of a little snot clearer. Details at the end of this chat. All right, thanks to our partners, Shopify Plus and Deliver in Person, here's our conversation with Laura Klein, founder and director at Snotty Noses. Laura, welcome to Add to Cart.
Hey, Nate. Great to be with you.
So great to be here with you. We caught up at the last Add to Cart social in Brisbane a couple of months ago.
Yes, that was great. Thank you for putting that on.
Oh, thanks for coming along. It was great to meet you and your team because we've kind of been in touch and we met at a digital social a few years ago. But I was blown away by the success that you've had since then and how fast it's happened. And we're going to get into all of that today. But in our pre-chat, I want to give people a little bit of an idea of where they're going. You said that you want to be Jane Fonda at 85.
Oh, she's my idol. I love everything about that woman. She is energetic. She's inspiring. She works not because she has to, because she wants to. She's passionate about her projects and her people, connecting, making a difference in the world. She's a good egg. And I think the world needs more good eggs that will stand up and be helpful in whatever you do. Be helpful, enjoy it. If you don't enjoy something, then change it. But, just keep going. She's fantastic.
I love it. That was such a great pre-chat. I feel like we should have recorded the pre-chat. But we are here to talk about your business, which is Snotty Noses. And I had so much fun with Amy researching your business. And You know what stood out to me was some of the headlines. Like, you have the most cracking headlines about your business. For listeners, I'm going to give you an idea of some of those headlines. So headline number one, and this is in news.com. So we're not talking a dinky die community publication. This is news.com. Headline is, Mum makes millions from snot sucker. And then Sydney Morning Herald, snot and poop are a fact of life. You can't get better headlines than that.
So glamorous, right? Oh my gosh.
Can you explain?
Sure. Look, it gets attention, and both of those newspapers, they love $1 million statistic, especially when it involves a mum. But hey, we both know that revenue or profit are very different things. So yeah, great revenue numbers, that's all good. But when it comes down to it, snot and poop headlines get the attention, get the click. Isn't that what we're in business for? If you're going to be vanilla, you're just not going to stand out. So in this fast-paced, short attention span world, attention is everything. And that's why I gave my business name the name it is, snottynoses.com.au. It gets a reaction from every single person you tell it to. They actually say, sorry, what? Or what is that? It just sparks curiosity. It sparks a conversation. So the bottom line is, I am the CEO of Snot. I am. But guess what? Snot is a fact of life with young children. And apologies to people who are listening to this that, are not dealing with little people in their world. But, kids can't sniff. They can't blow their nose. I know that because I had 3 kids in 3.5 years, a few years back. And at the time, it was like I was living in Snotsville. It didn't seem like the start of a dream back then in 2013. But fast forward nearly 11 years, here we are, sitting in our new warehouse in Brisbane, and we've really come a long way.
Well, I think you've given us the headline for our episode already, the CEO of Snotsville.
I'll take it.
So tell me, I was actually at my brother and his wife's house, and they've got 2 young kids on the weekend, and there was a Snotty Noses sitting on the bathroom sink. And I was like,
words I'm fond of hearing.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I'm sure you hear that all the time.
It was a sign from the universe that I needed to be on your podcast. I'm stalking you from your brother-in-law's house.
That's right. So tell me, how does the snot sucker work? Like, where did the idea come from? Let's start there.
Yeah, sure. So the original back in 2013, I was a full-time mum to 3 little ones on leave from my job as a primary school teacher. Life was busy, but the level of snot was constant. And I had tried all of those cheap, squeezy, manual little bowl, aspirators. They just didn't work. And then I found a motorized aspirator called Snotty. It was just called Snotty in an old school parenting magazine. Doesn't even exist anymore. But, I bought it. I loved it. I used it. And then they sent me be a work from home rep, like a flyer. They sent me this, not even on email, old school snail mail. And I looked at it and I thought, I have spent the better part of a year using this product, telling all these people about it. Maybe I could start a business if they want, work from home reps, a bit like an Avon lady. You buy a box of stock and you sell it to your friends. And I thought,
but instead of beauty, you've gone into snot.
Yeah, I know, right? So glamorous. I may as well try to sell a few. And honestly, the rest is history. I bought a box of these little aspirators. I set up a website and away we went. And I am not kidding. I had no marketing plan, no social media, no idea about SEO or upsells or cross sells. Afterpay, Tik Tok, Black Friday, ChatGPT, they were years away. They didn't even exist. I just started with what I had and I did the best I could. And you know what? That's how every business actually starts. Google started in someone's garage and Facebook started in a dorm room. Everyone starts small. But I had a belief. I had a belief in the problem that I was solving. I knew if I faced it, then so did so many other parents. What was on the market just wasn't good enough. It was a serious medical condition and people just needed a solution. And I had nothing to lose. So I just went for it.
And when you had that original letter or pamphlet in the letterbox, was your immediate reaction to go, I'm going to sell this online? Or did you think about selling it door to door, setting up a shop, or was it always just going to be an online business?
it was online. You could see that that was the way it was going. And I also had to be practical. I had 3 kids at home full time. I'm not going to door to door anywhere. Where am I going to be? I'm going to be at my kitchen bench. And on the right side of me, I'm making Vegemite sandwiches for the kids. And on the left side of me, I'm packing aspirators to send to a customer. So it just fit. It fit with the lifestyle I was at. I think, e-commerce is the greatest gift to busy people. You can start from nothing and just build it step by step, away you go. And I think it's, the whole idea of doing this podcast has given me pause to think what the environment was like back in 2013. It was very different. People were still cautious about putting their credit card into, the computer or their phone and handing over their details online. And when I think back to my first website, I actually want to cringe. It was not mobile responsive. It was clunky. It was awful, but that's what you had and that's what you started with. And then it's all part of the journey. So I guess the long answer to that is we started as an online retailer of other people's brands. And that was great. Side hustle while I raised the kids. But we had proof of concept really quickly. Like we could start to see some really good numbers even in those early years. And I was a keen learner and I'd listened to countless podcasts. So I thought, I could do this and this. And then I got someone to help me with, Google ads and Meta ads. And I think our budget was like $20 a day or something. It was, adorable. But we just kept growing from there.
You know that nervous feeling you get when you place your checked-in luggage on that airport baggage machine? You're kind of just hoping that your luggage arrives at your destination on time and in perfect condition. It's the same in e-commerce. You place a lot of trust in your last mile partners to deliver the final, crucial element of the customer experience. Now, imagine you are a premium product with over 100 years of customer experience expectations. That nervousness increases a lot. That's why Samsonite has chosen Deliver in Person for their reliable, on-time delivery to drive outstanding shopping experiences, enhance brand reputation, and significantly improve key delivery metrics. I mean, you can never be too careful when it comes to making sure luggage arrives on time and undamaged. Don't settle for less. Make your last mile experience the first thing that customers remember. Learn more about the incredible performance uplifts Samsonite has experienced since working with Deliver in Person at deliverinperson.com/case study Samsonite. Tell us, where is it today? I know when we caught up, you were talking about wholesaling, new warehouses. Give me an idea of the scale from that kitchen bench with Vegemite in one hand and aspirators in the other.
Yeah. So we have grown slow and steady. I think sometimes wins the race. You can pivot quickly on some things, but you just plod along for other things and you take risks when you need to and you just, keep going. So lucky for us, Snot Suckers are one of those essential products. It's a must-have, not a nice-to-have. There's an urgency in that purchase and it makes your business a little recession-proof, to be fair. People are going to need, the widgets that we are selling. Because it's so urgent, parents are less price-sensitive. They just want something, that works. There's a growing number of kids in daycare. So, daycare germs are the gift that keeps on giving to our business. And we realized that our target market was never running out. Sure, we might have, our customers for a certain moment in their life before they move on to their next season and their next chapter. And that's fine. So we started knowing that, trust and reliability are the absolute biggest factors for business growth. You have to have that. Otherwise, you're going to get, found out very quickly. So within a year or two of, starting the business, we realized that, a sustainable business model means you need to have more than just a hero product that people buy once and never come back again. So you need a reason for people to come back and keep shopping with you. So it made so much sense from that original, other brand aspirator to start bringing in complementary products, for colds and sniffles. So that was vaporizers, oils, balms, and we were growing as nicely as an online retailer. So then I guess it came about 5 years into the business and it came time to sort of say, are we going to continue selling other people's brands or are we going to make the shift to our own product?
That would have been a big moment.
Yeah, Yeah, it really was. But we knew we had proof of concept, but we just kept getting feedback from people saying, look, this is good, but you could have that or it could have this. And we just knew that we needed to take all of those years of feedback and take that cash flow and take a punt and create something of our own to give us control of our business, to be masters of our own destiny, to be able to break into the wholesale space. You can't do that when you sell other people's brands. So you have to have your own brand if you want D2C and wholesale, and that ultimately increases the profitability of your business. So, but manufacturing is a huge leap. Oh my goodness, it requires significant cash flow and lots of other things.
I thought you were about to say manufacturing is a hoot. And I'm like, I've never heard someone say that before. Tell me about the customer feedback that you were getting on the products that you were retailing. That was there 2 or 3 bits of feedback that you're like, yeah, we could build that?
Probably for the aspirator, like the suction strength is regulated by the TGA. You can't make it any stronger than that. It will cause damage. So that part is fairly regulated, but you can make it the maximum suction that it can be. And so we had doctors, engineers on board to help us say, this is what you can do and it's better than what you've currently got. The noise factor, you don't want something that's noisy and scary. The nozzle factor, it needs to be different shapes and sizes so it can be used from a teeny tiny preemie baby all the way up to, a toddler at 3 or 4 years of age. And it needs to come as a kit. I know myself, I was losing nozzles and it didn't have a lid and it got all mucky. And so we needed a carry bag in there. We needed a lid. We needed nozzles that made it, from birth all the way through to those years. So I'm a mum and a savvy mum, and I knew exactly what I needed to create. And I did it.
And how did you go from that idea? So I love that idea of bringing all that customer feedback after getting to that proof of concept and going, cool, we've got something here, but it can be better. How did you go from that point to knowing the product that you want to create to finding a manufacturer who could build what you want?
Yeah, it's huge, but the internet is a wonderful thing. And boy, I do my best research at midnight, and I would just be researching different factories in different, lots of different countries, buying samples. My doctor and engineer friends back in Australia would pull them apart, look at what they are, do they, more than anything, do these factories have the certification for this medical product required by TGA? Are we legally allowed to manufacture and bring this product into Australia for distribution?
So that would have narrowed your search significantly.
Oh my gosh, it did. Alibaba is a minefield. There are thousands of products on there, but only a tiny percentage have the certification required by Australian law. And that's a good thing, right? This is your precious baby. You don't want to be risking, health and safety. So by chance, we came along a factory, and it just, I go by my gut a lot, and it just felt like the right fit. They were open to our ideas of what, this base prototype, how we would then create Snotty Boss. I had the name from the get-go. I knew I wanted to create a product called Snotty Boss, and we just worked with them until we found what it would be. And that was back in 2018, 2019. We brought it to market in 2020. And even since then, we are adding things, changing things, constantly modifying, although every modification in manufacturing costs a bomb. But if it makes it a better result at the end for the customer, then it's absolutely money well invested.
And is that your way of staying ahead of, say, rip-offs, other people out there who might be getting your product, pulling it apart and saying, yeah, I could manufacture that? Is it by continually improving the product? Is that important?
Yeah, that's absolutely one part of it. We're not really worried about rip-offs as such, because of the strict controls around medical products in Australia. Dodgy ones simply can't exist. But, in terms of competitors, there are a lot of other aspirator or vaporizer brands on the market, and that's just a natural part of business. Babies are an evergreen target market, so there's always going to be competitors. And actually, if you don't have competitors in your space, there's probably not enough demand for your product. So with the aspirator brands, we realized that some people prefer the old school manual type or, the parent suction tubes or the cheaper motorized one. And that's fine, because if you try to sell to everybody, you sell to nobody. So we know our niche market. We're confident in our premium product. We focus on, delivering great results for our customers. But I do chuckle when we're at the baby expos, talking face to face with customers, which is one of my favorite things. And they say, oh, I bought one of these cheap ones and it was terrible. And I wish I should have just bought yours from the beginning, and that's really nice. Yeah, I feel like exactly right. I'm glad you found us in the end, but, it gives us validation that what we're doing and maintaining that quality is absolutely the right fit for our business.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm really interested in that window because, I love what you're saying around a recession-proof product and, a continual market available for you. But my kids are 8 and 9 now, so we're out of that. And you gave me a bit of PTSD talking about childcare germs and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, oh, yes, I remember those days. But say you're that window between 0 and, say, 4, you've got a limited window there to reach new parents and, get them on board with Snotty Boss before kind of becomes irrelevant. How do you make sure that you get your brand and the discovery of your brand in front of those in that kind of 4-year window?
Yeah. Well, 4 years is actually a pretty decent window. I'm happy with that. Better than, say, a breastfeeding product that may only have, 6 or 12 months. You've really got a good couple of years where this product is going to save you. So that works well for our business model. And I guess it just means you have to be everywhere. You have to be omnichannel in your marketing, in the availability of your product, which is why we are D2C. It's why we've explored the bricks and mortar partnerships that we have done. So, we are on a mission to be the sniffles solution for families, but without doing it in a big corporate sense, doing it with heart, doing it with trust, with honesty, with mums that have walked that journey and know exactly how stressful it is to have a sick baby, because the sick baby part is the guarantee of life. There's no question that little ones are going to get sick. And we just need to show them that trusting us and paying that premium price is absolutely worth it. In the scheme of baby things, it's actually probably the best $100 you'll ever spend. I still don't think that's a lot of money for something that gives instant relief, constant relief, gives everyone a better night's sleep. Maybe I should be charging thousands of dollars for this product. But it means we do have to stretch across the channels, lots and lots of touch points. I like the idea of having 12 eggs in 12 different baskets, not all your eggs, in the
good
one
eggs
basket.
in good baskets.
Yes, the good eggs. I love that idea. Just be a good egg in your business and your life. So we've got like organic search and organic social media, and then obviously paid search and paid social media. And, with Google, parents, if they're on Google looking for us, they already know the problem they have. They're in buy mode, and they're, when they type it, luckily our business name is also the product or the problem that they're searching for on Google. That wasn't by accident either, I have to say. So we come up pretty well and we do well with Google searches. And then, with TikTok or Meta, it's just about creating content that stops the scroll, that makes them curious, to make them say, what is that? Or it speaks to them in a way that this company understands the pain point that I have, so social media is the gift that keeps giving. And then, as if we get them to our website, that's our shop front. So we are uber focused on building trust. That's why we've got all the banners of all the media and the stores that we were in. So people go, okay, this brand is real. They're based in Brisbane. They're real people. And then, of course, the testimonials speak for themselves. And then, of course, word of mouth is just paved in gold.
Yes, I'm really interested in that word of mouth because I had Snotty Noses recommended to us a bunch of times when we had kids at that age. Do you have any processes or tactics in place to help amplify that word of mouth, or do you let it happen naturally?
Oh, it'd be nice if you could control everything in business, but you can't. So you've got to make sure when people are behind closed doors, they're saying something nice about your business. It's like that old adage, if you love it, tell everyone else, tell everyone. But if you don't love it, or if something went wrong, please tell us so we've got a chance to fix it. Things happen and people need help, and that's fine. But I guess, the big buzzwords there, loyalty, retention, word of mouth, that is the goose that lays the golden egg, honestly. Snotty Boss is our hero product. You only need one of them. That's fine. But mum and dad's talk, the parent forums are alive and well with recommendations. And honestly, the amount of love that we get online, if you're selling a baby product, you'd better make sure it's good, because you will live or die by the sword. Those online forums will either amplify your brand and put it up there on a pedestal, or they will crucify you. And I am glad to say we're on the pedestal, not on the crucifixion. So return customer rate for our website is around 27%. So that's good. Obviously, it's something we want to build even further. But for that one hero product, and then those other complementary products that, like balms, essential oils, they're all consumables. So people have a reason to keep coming back. But yeah, word of mouth is huge. We want every parent at every local playgroup and daycare centre raving about, Snotty Boss and recommending it, not because there's anything in it for them, just because they love it. I recommend brands all the time that I love. I have a good experience and, happy to recommend. And people just tag us on social media all the time. Like, honestly, we've got content creators in-house, but sometimes it's, they make the best videos and they just post it. And it's like, oh my goodness, can we use this in an ad almost, is what we're saying to them. It's crazy good. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. And then of course they become an affiliate, and we haven't even touched on affiliate marketing. We can talk about that later, but affiliate marketing just makes sense for a product like us. Why wouldn't we be sort of saying, yeah, recommend it to your friends and you can have a cut of it as well. And we sell more widgets. It's a win-win.
How do you do that? Do you put that out there? So say someone creates a great video of a snot sucker, it's got the Snotty Boss featured, might be a bit funny, might be a bit real, and then you go, this is great, they've tagged you in it, reach out and go, hey, can we use this? And they go, yeah, no worries. And you go, hey, we've got an affiliate model. Is that only for people who are professional content creators, or can you do that for anyone?
No. It is for anyone, because affiliate is about being real and raw. And those micro influencers, even with like 1,000 followers, they are 1,000 loyal followers. They trust what that person says because they know that they're not doing it for the big bucks that the 100,000 or 200,000 follower people have. Nothing against them either. They absolutely have a place in this world, but those micro influencers are just gold. We offer them, no pressure, like join our affiliate program. We've got one of our team members that, introduces them to it and walks them through the process. They can post as much or as little as they like, but they know that when they do, they have a code, and when it gets used, they get a clip of that sale. So it's a win for them, it's a win for us, and it's a win for their consumer that bought a really good product and is forever grateful to that person for telling them about it. So yeah, haven't seen a downside to affiliates yet.
What platform are you using to keep that really simple and straightforward?
GoAF Pro is what's been recommended to us, and it is working really, really well. It's a set and forget, very intuitive, doesn't take a lot of management to keep it running, which is great.
Cool. I'm really interested in what you've been saying around you've got a niche product, you do it so well, you've got high trust, been in market for a long time, great customer base, you're marketing across all channels to really ensure that you hit people at the right time. Surely there's been a temptation to go broader into breast pumps, into shushes, into baby clothes. Now that you've got the market, you've got the trust.
Nope. I'm going to say the riches are in the niches. Like, it truly is. There's enough scope in the niche that we have to make a profitable business and for us to do it well. That's not always the right decision for other businesses, but I think we would dilute our message if we did start to go too broad. I also never say never either. So in 5 years' time, I might have completely changed my mind and I can do that. But right now, where we are, those gadgets for good health, good sleep, the sniffle solutions, that is absolutely where we're focused. And there's still a bit of room to move there. What's not to say we can, bring a second aspirator model out. All of those things are in the pipeline. They're all an opportunity. So watch this space.
I mean, Snotty baby clothes doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
No, I don't think it'll be a bestseller, to be fair.
And so from a scale perspective, is then the focus, we're going to talk about wholesale in a sec because what you're doing there is really interesting. Is there a global ambition as well?
Look, every now and again, the global genie comes out of the bottle and we say, oh, maybe we should. And look, we actually already sell, we have an Australian website, which is the .com.au, but we already have an international website that doesn't sell any other product except Snotty Boss. And so it just chugs away there. So we have, when we launched it, we got inquiries straight away from Iceland, France, Hawaii, Alaska, like South Africa, all these places. Can we buy Snotty Boss? And we went, oh, well, our Australian website's not going to facilitate that. I made an international website on a weekend, off a template, and it actually converts really well. So we already can send Snotty Boss overseas, but it's all sending it from here in Australia. So I guess the point of international is potentially looking at expansion channels through Amazon. I mean, Amazon Australia is very kind to us. We do really well there. So Amazon can be a really safe way to dip your toe into international markets. And then the next step would be a country-based distributor that has the distribution rights for Snotty Boss. They're all on the table, all
that
that's
makes
possible.
Sense.
Yeah.
And by using Amazon to test the waters internationally, are you using the fulfillment options by Amazon as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely the way to go. That's what we do in Australia. And that's certainly what we will do when we go overseas to a couple of different countries that Amazon services.
From winning the block to establishing a leading personal care brand during COVID, it's fair to say that the Alive Body team can do anything that they put their mind to. But as the business grew rapidly, third-party applications didn't speak to each other, managing two separate sites for D2C and wholesale got costly, and budgets were blowing out. Sounds like the typical reno, really. But as we know, the Alive Body team don't settle for standard renos. That's why they upgraded to Shopify Plus, combining D2C and wholesale stores with a unified backend, creating country-specific stores, and optimizing the customer experience with Shopify Function. They've now got an award-winning online home, and it's paying off with 3 times more customer acquisitions and a 47% increase in conversion rate. It's enough to put a smile on any skeptical judge's face. Check out shopify.com/au/plus and get in touch with the Aussie Shopify Plus team to see how Shopify Plus can help you get your technical foundations in order. So let's talk about wholesale, because we had a great chat about this at the Ecom Social. You're already in stockists like Baby Bunting and Terry White, which is amazing. As you've gone from that D2C model, this is your idea, your baby, your product. You've got a lot of trust in this. As you are opening it up to those retailers who all have very different experiences, all have very different levels of customer service, how do you assess which retailers fit the Snotty Noses way of being?
Yeah, sure. Are you saying our retailers don't love our product as much as we do? Oh, I'm shocked to hear that, considering they've got 5,000 SKUs on the shelf. But getting into wholesale was one of the main reasons that we then, got our own branding, 5 years ago or so. And by being in the right retailer, it amplifies your brand. It builds trust. If people see that we're in Baby Bunting, we're in Terry White Pharmacy, they immediately go, that must be good then, So that's great. You just need to make sure your numbers work, obviously, for a wholesale model, which we do. So Terry White was the first big retailer that we got into about 3 years ago. And look, the baby buyer and I, he's a lovely guy, and we still laugh now about how I almost stalked him through his email inbox when I found out who the baby buyer was in that category in Terry White. And I would just drop into his email, every couple of months, oh, hi, Nick, just wanted to let you know Snotty Boss won this award. Or, hi, Nick, just wanted to let you know that we were in Sydney Morning Herald, just bombarding him with different bits of media and different awards we had won, until finally, I think he honestly said, who is this woman? Who is this brand?
How did you get my email?
How did you get my email? But you've just got to chip away, because the first If you're a stonemason, the first tap of the rock is not going to bust the rock open. It's the 100th tap of the rock that's going to bust it open. So you've got to be consistent. You've got to have tenacity. And eventually he took a chance on a small brand like ours, and it's paid off for them and us, in spades. We're in the top 10 of baby products in Terry White, nationally. He emailed me the other day, it's something like 350% growth in the last 12 months. So it's the right fit for us. At store level, sometimes I'll walk into a local Terry White, or one of our reps will go in and there's no stock on the shelf, or, one of our displays is looking a little bit shabby, and that's just life. Pharmacies are busy places, but it's about building relationships with the managers at head office, and then the store manager, and then the people on the ground, to get them loving our product as much as we do, incentivizing them, gamifying it, do some competition between different Terry White stores to see who does sell the most in a certain campaign promotion, or, shouting that particular store lunch because they were the top seller of Snotty Boss in a particular period. So it's about using the carrot, not the stick, to get them coming on board. And look, it's a high price point and a good cash margin for those stores. They'd be crazy not to be promoting it and selling it. And they walk away with a very happy customer, that's got a product that actually works. And what do mums do? They talk. So they say, oh, where did you get that product? Oh, I got it at my local Terry White, or I got it at my local Baby Bunting. Great. In they go, and they buy one as well. So yeah, it's a win-win. Baby Bunting was a similar story, if I can digress there. That's a recent sort of acquisition. They were creating a marketplace in August of last year. Everyone's got a marketplace these days because it's a good business model for those big businesses. We got added to the marketplace, which means we weren't in store on shelf in the 70 Baby Bunting stores. We were just on their marketplace. You could buy online. We'd fulfill it from our warehouse. And we launched, and we were on their marketplace for 6 weeks only. And I had a call from the baby buyers to say, we'd like to discuss, planogram in-store ranging for this product. We can clearly see it's getting the search volume, it's getting the sales volume. And by December of last year, we were on shelf in 70 Baby Bunting stores. So it who knows which touch point made that all happen. I have to have faith in the universe that it was just our journey and our destiny to be there. But, that's what I always envisioned 4 years ago when I brought that product to market, that's where we'd be, and that's where we are. So, got to have faith.
To get listed originally on the Baby Bunting marketplace, did you have to go through a lengthy approval process? You're using the 100 taps of the stone to get into Terry White. Was it much, much easier to get that original marketplace on Baby Bunting?
Marketplaces are much easier because there's no risk for the retailer to do that. You just simply go on their online website. They're not holding stock. They're not buying stock. They just take a commission of what is sold there. So it's an Amazon model, isn't it? It's very low risk for them, but it gives their customers, the Baby Bunting customers, the opportunity to source brands that they may not otherwise be able to source or know about. And then, of course, they take the best-selling ones of those and put them in their store. What a smart idea.
I can imagine that as other retailers see you being stocked in leading retailers like Baby Bunting and Terry White Chemists, that you would get approached as well as approaching others. Are there retailers that you've approached and gone, nah, I don't think that fits our model?
Absolutely. We walked away from a pharmacy deal last year. It just wasn't the right fit. The numbers didn't add up, and that's not to say they won't in the future. They just didn't add up there, and I think it's worth holding your ground and maintaining your premium brand and your pricing, because if you're just competing on price alone, it's a race to the bottom and nobody wins. That was the right decision for us last year to walk away from a deal. But, the door's always open. We're always ready to chat to any retailer that wants to offer something fabulous to their customers. Who doesn't want to make their customers happy?
That's right. All right. And obviously, with all these different channels opening up, Amazon International, great direct channel, wholesalers, then that has a big impact on your inventory and your processes to be able to get this product out to all the channels. Understand you've just done a big change around warehousing. Tell us about some of the challenges or the steps that you've taken in your journey to kind of be able to scale to that level.
Yes, I'm sitting at the grown-up table now, Nathan. I'm not at the kitchen bench anymore. You know, they're big decisions. We're not talking a few $1,000s here. We're talking, you know, 7 figures transactions happening there. So you've got to know what you're doing. But if you don't, get a team around you that knows what they're doing, because everyone has a different skill set. I like, you know, chatting to people. I like being on social media. That's my zone of genius. Get other people around you that nerd out on numbers and data and freight and balance sheets and all of those sorts of things. You know, it takes a village to run a business like this. And I've got a good village, although my accountant's constantly chasing me for, you know, for things that I'm not doing properly, but that's okay.
So was there a particular moment or time or scenario where you went, I can't do this myself anymore. I need to bring in a GM to help me?
Look, potentially I've been thinking about it for about a year or so, but I think it was a sign from the universe when I heard about a book called Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman. And I heard about it on one podcast and then it was mentioned somewhere else. And then I saw it on Amazon or something. I'm like, this is, you know, I need to read this book. What is this all about? And it's that idea of within an organization of, you know, not a startup when there's 1 or 2 people, but when you get about 5 to, you know, 100 people working in your organization, you really need to start putting some structure in place. And we had 5 people already working in our Brisbane office and a number of different sort of contractors working remotely. And it was just, that was the tipping point where we're going, you know, 5 to 6. I really need someone to help me to sit at the top of the tree with me, be my partner, but I am the visionary and they are the integrator. And that's a key yin and yang relationship between the heads of a company. And it usually plays out that a visionary is the founder. They're the creative type. You know, sometimes they have an attention span of a flea, which I'm sad to say is sometimes me. You know, I get idea whiplash. Oh, let's do this. Oh, let's try this, you know. And that's great for creativity and social media posts. And that's all fun for getting a business off the ground. But at the stage we're talking big deals, you know, serious contracts, a lot at stake. I needed someone with a much more integrated, focused mind to manage all levels of the business, which is, you know, the finance, the inventory, the people, and everything that trickles down from there. So whilst Hannah and I get along very well, we have completely different zones of genius that are complementary to one another. If I asked Hannah to do a TikTok video, she might melt down before my eyes because that's not her job. That's not what she's here to do. That's my job. But we need to be, you know, we have good communication. We have a weekly WIT meeting. So she knows what I'm doing. I know what she's doing. She's managing the team. It just feels like all the trains are focused in the right direction and they're all running on time now that she's here. And it's such a relief. You know, it's kind of like, why didn't I hire her 5 years ago? But we just weren't there then. We weren't ready. When you know, you know. And I took a long time, you know, a good couple of weeks, months to think about the job description, to find the right person that I was looking for, because that's key. Otherwise, you'll get every Tom, Dick and Harry applying for the job. The quality of candidates that we got for that GM position were exceptional. It was a hard decision, but I think I've made the right decision with Hannah. It takes an incredible weight off your shoulders as the founder, you know, of the business to know someone else is there for you. And so now there's a team of 7 of us in the Brisbane office, which is amazing. And I have to say, we've got people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and we've even got a staff member in her 60s. And it just is a vibe. It just works. Everyone brings a different skill set to the team, but everyone has a core vision and a purpose. They know what we're here to do, and that is bring sniffle relief to little bubs and make families happier.
Yeah,
that is
mission.
what being, yeah, it's a good mission statement for sure.
And so now that you got the team in place, that would have made the warehouse move a breeze, right? It would have been easy.
Oh, sure. Sat back. It just all happened. Click my fingers. But, you know, you can look at a warehouse move as, some massive task that had to happen. We looked at it as like, what a joy. You know, how lucky are we? If we're needing to move warehouse because we need more space, that's a good thing, right? Our business is growing. And again, it's a sign from the universe. The place that we were in, it told us last October, you can no longer get 40-foot container deliveries here on the regular basis that you are. It was a sign from the universe. We had to move. We could no longer get our shipping containers dropped there. So, it was time to buy a bigger house. So we did.
They said, get your snot out of here.
Yes, exactly. And that's fine. And, I've got my team are very Marie Kondo types. They love decluttering and organizing, and they were in the zone, and we moved in. Are there still boxes to unpack? Heck yeah. But are we getting there? Yes, we are. We've got this beautiful new space. We've got a signature green snot. It's actually not a snot color. It's a beautiful aqua green feature wall. We've even got a boardroom. Eek! I mean, it's just so exciting. So you've got to look at all of those things as a positive. How lucky and we found out yesterday that the people, in the next commercial premises from us, our neighbours, are actually another baby brand that have just moved in as well. They're in a non-competitive category, of course, and they've just moved in. It's like, of course, I'm sure we'll share war stories over, the baby industry in years to come. You never know. There could be a collaboration coming up there as well. So you have to have faith. It all works. It will all work out.
What advice would you have for people as they're going through that transition stage, maybe upgrading to a bigger warehouse or moving warehouses? Any piece of advice to keep the business operational during that changeover period?
I think you've got to let your customers know what's happening. They love a sneak peek behind the scenes to know what's happening for your business. There was no disruption in our service at all. We literally went there. We were at that warehouse on a Friday, and by the Monday we were here. All of our carrier partners, Australia Post is great. You just say it's not a pickup from there, it's a pickup from there. The online world keeps moving. Orders can be shipped even if the warehouse is still in a bit of disarray. So there was absolutely no disruption there. We're not Amazon either though. So, we've got a reasonable sized warehouse, but not a million cartons that needed to be transferred over. It all fitted into a couple of truckloads. So that's fine.
Beautiful. Now, tell us about the Humpty Dumpty Foundation. I know that's a cause that's very close to your heart. How does that partnership work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've always had a charity aspect to our business, even in the early years. It just felt right. And I remember hearing Christy Chong from Modibody speak at a conference back in 2015, I think it was, an online retailer, and she spoke about the way they did their charity work, and it just made so much sense. It was such a good thing to do that was a win-win for everybody. And I know some families that were affected, had bubs in the NICU for many years. So when I learnt about Humpty Dumpty, it just felt like the right fit. So sorry, I should say, before, when we first started doing charity, we would do a different charity every month, that we would give $1 from every sale to that particular charity. And that was great. Oh my goodness. We worked beautiful, beautiful charities, and they're all so grateful. They're like, oh wow, that's amazing. So then I had an experience with friends' bubs in NICU, and I got to know about Humpty Dumpty Foundation, and they actually buy a piece of medical equipment for different hospitals all around Australia. The hospitals literally put a wish list of the equipment they need on the Humpty Dumpty website, and people can go there, and if you can afford it, you can buy the whole machine, or you can donate money towards a portion of the machine. And we have bought so many machines for this foundation over the years, infant warmers, ventilators, practical things. I'm all about practical things, right? It just felt like the right fit. And, we give $1 for every order per month. It's easy. It's real money going to hospitals and families that need it. And it fits with our motto of being a good egg in everything you do. I mean, it's just ironic that it's Humpty Dumpty, the little egg that we're talking about.
Don't be a broken egg.
Yeah, not a broken egg. Be a good egg and just do your bit. If everyone just did a little bit, you can move mountains when everyone does a bit. So it's the right fit for us. It's
beautiful. Love it. Now, I can't leave here without asking you, because I did stalk your TikTok and you are front and center. You mentioned that it's part of your job title. You do a great job on there. How does Snot work on TikTok?
TikTok is so fun, honestly. It's the best resource for small business. And yes, snot suction is disgusting, but it's intriguing. So it was just made for TikTok. And we have so many customers who create content for us just, for free, because they love the product and share it on TikTok. So we started TikTok about over 3 years ago now, because I kept hearing on podcasts and business groups, it's a great way to show the fun side of your business. And, TikTok took off during the pandemic, mainly with, dancing teenagers and crazy cats. But then we quickly realized that parents were on there too, and they want to be educated and entertained. So that's what we did. And I still hear some business owners, even in 2024, saying, oh, I hate TikTok. It's just so stupid. And I'm like, it's not about your preference for social media. It's about where your customers are. And if your customers are on TikTok, then that's where you need to be too. And we have fun. We have no rules. The silliest video can get the most attention. And then you can get a piece of highly created content that took you hours to make and it gets nothing. I mean, it hurts my head. And, we haven't cracked the 1 million view mark yet, but gosh, we're getting close. And I think we've got a video that's about 850,000 views, and it is the Snotty Boss suctioning honey mustard sauce off a plate to show people how it suctions. It doesn't even have a baby in the video. It doesn't even have me in the video. That's the one that hit the spot. So who knows?
That's bizarre because everything around human behavior goes, well, babies are great for, TikTok, and founders are great. People, you're talking about mustard being sucked off a plate.
Yeah. Maybe it's the ASMR, it's the sound of that suction. I won't repeat it here, but, it's pretty satisfying. But we've had lots of fun, baby videos and silly old me dancing in the warehouse, that they go well as well. Look, people buy from people. They want to see the business owner. They want to see the peek behind the scenes. I think it's boring, me packing a parcel, but apparently other people find it intriguing. So I'm up for all of that. And I've actually learned a lot about TikTok from a couple of local businesses in Queensland, Brookie Bakery and the boys from Lucent Globe on the Gold Coast, the twins. I mean, I have learned so much about TikTok by watching their TikTok, the short, sharp transitions, it's just brilliant. It's fun. It's just the way of the future. And I can't wait to see what the next TikTok is. Like, what's the next thing coming that's going to capture the world's attention like that and be an absolute game changer for business if you use it smartly? I just love it. I mean, maybe it's AI. I love all that, the ideas around AI and what it can do for your business. I guess it just reminds you that you've got to keep being ready to change, like keep fresh, keeps you young, just be open to new ideas, never say never. It's all possible. It actually reminds me of a flash mob we did in Brisbane about 5 years ago. I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but we got a group of like 50 mums and babies dancing at South Bank in Brisbane, holding their baby, holding a snot sucker one, and doing this dance. And it was just silly. It took a lot of effort, but we got on the news. And honestly, the PR juice that we got from that was just gold. People still talk to us. That was even before TikTok, but people still talk to us about our flash mob that we did in Brisbane. And it's so fun, so creative. It's the reason you're in business, right? It's why you don't feel like you've got a real job.
Yeah, you're doing the things that you enjoy, that you love, on a mission that resonates with you. It's all lining up. So tell me, Laura, what's next? So what's the next 12 months? Where's your focus? What things have you got planned for yourself and the team at Snotty Noses?
Look, just embracing all the good growth that's happened so far. Take a moment, breathe, and work out a plan for the next stage. So you can't just go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. We might need a little bit of time of stability, but we're always open to new opportunities. Yes, there is a new pharmacy deal happening right now that I can't tell you about. Sorry, we'll do an update in a year's time and I'll tell you. But that's exciting. The international thing is exciting, and new products. Oh, that is always so exciting, because that's a long process. And so when you're bringing something to market, you cross every set of fingers and toes, but you know that you have to have faith that it will be the right decision for the business.
Brilliant. All right, Laura, if people have heard this today and they either want to go out and go, God, the Snotty Boss, that's exactly what I need, where do they go for that? Or if they want to talk to you, what's the best way to go about that?
Our socials is where we are. So we've got a team monitoring that. So just at Snotty Noses Australia, come and say hi, jump onto our website. We're everywhere, just as all good e-commerce businesses should be. And if you're at a baby expo around Australia, come and say hi as well.
Beautiful. Laura, I'm so excited to hear from Amy, our producer, of the trailer quotes. We call them the trailer quotes, the three that always lead the episode. What she pulls out of this, because I think she's got so much to work with here. I've loved hearing your story and excited for what you and the team are going to do moving forward. Brilliant story. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you, Nathan. It was a pleasure.
Great to have you on Add to Cart.
Thanks.
There you go. I love Laura's story so far and how she's so focused on solving one problem for so many people. Brilliant to see. And like we said at the start of the episode, she's given our listeners a very special discount. If you have got someone who needs a bit of snot sucking in your life, she has given us 15% off at snottynoses.com.au. Just use the code add to cart, all one word. That's add to cart at snottynoses.com.au to get 15% off your snotty boss. All right, here are the 3 lessons I took away from this episode. Number 1. Wholesale is gritty. It feels like this is such a big topic for DTC at the moment, is how do we get into retailers? But unlike distribution through Amazon, wholesale retail, it's a gritty game and it occurs over a long time period. There's a lot of guessing email addresses to the right people, giving updates over a long period of time, and one-on-one negotiation to get in. And that's just the start. It's not something that just gets activated as soon as you think of the strategy. If it is on your radar, start those relationships now. Number 2, embracing new trends. I love how hard Laura and the team have embraced TikTok. She hasn't stood back and watched, she's got in and learned. The tip around watching what's working for other accounts and then trying a few things yourself is fantastic, especially when you find the content that you didn't think that will work, but actually did. Her example of the slow noises actually worked really well rather than the baby faces. That would go against most people's assumptions, but by trying so many things, she found what worked. She's unlocked a goldmine there. And number 3, tell your story with energy. I've actually heard Laura tell the Snotty Noses story a few times, but each time it progresses a little more, and I can guarantee that every time she tells it, it's like the first time that she has told it. As a founder or a leader in a business, that is such a fantastic trait to get others as excited as you about the mission, no matter how many times you've told the story. Before you go, we'd love to invite you to join our free e-commerce learning platform, Add to Cart Campus. Meet other professionals and learn from e-commerce experts to take your business and your e-commerce career to the next level. Register to join Campus at addtocart.com.au/campus. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you share it with a friend or a colleague, or even better, leave us a review on Spotify or Apple. It really makes a difference.